Hi guys! Welcome to Science Moment, a place to ask the big questions, to seek the hidden truths, and to marvel at the sheer scale of the universe we call home. Have you ever wondered how, over 5,000 years ago, were humans able to build those colossal pyramids that modern science still debates today? Why was an ancient civilization able to exist continuously for over 3,000 years with almost no disruption? In the arid deserts of Africa, ancient Egypt emerged as a miracle, a place where people lived in harmony with nature, worshipped their gods, believed in the afterlife, and left behind legacies that transcended their time. In this video, we will explore the entirety of the magnificent history of ancient Egyptian civilization, from the Nile River, the cradle of life, the power of the pharaohs, their profound religious beliefs, to the scientific, architectural, and intellectual achievements that have influenced the modern world. Let's embark on a journey back in time, to one of the most mysterious and greatest civilizations in human history. Ancient Egypt, a great civilization along the Nile River. Introduction. Why does ancient Egypt still amaze humanity? Throughout human history, few civilizations have left such a profound and lasting mark as ancient Egypt. From towering pyramids in the desert and colossal stone statues to its mysterious writing system, ancient Egypt has always evoked wonder, curiosity, and admiration. Remarkably, this civilization did not flourish for a short period, but existed continuously for over 3,000 years, a remarkably long time in world history, with its cultural identity remaining virtually unbroken. Ancient Egypt was formed around the 4th millennium BC and lasted until its conquest by Rome in 30 BC. Throughout those more than 3,000 years, the Egyptians built a stable, well-organized society, a deep religious belief system, and scientific and technological achievements far beyond their time. Remarkably, while many other civilizations rose and quickly declined or dissolved, Egypt maintained a relatively consistent social, religious, and political structure across dozens of dynasties. Modern humanity's astonishment at ancient Egypt stems not only from monumental structures like the Giza pyramids or the Sphinx, but also from a deeper question: how could an ancient society, with rudimentary tools and limited scientific knowledge, build wonders that have endured for thousands of years? How did they maintain political and cultural stability for such a long period? And why do Egyptian thought, art, and religion continue to influence the world today? Therefore, the central question of this presentation is: what enabled ancient Egypt to form, develop, and leave behind a timeless legacy for humanity? To answer that question, it is necessary to view ancient Egypt as a whole, in which the natural environment, state organization, religion, political power, and human intellect are closely intertwined. The journey of exploring Egyptian civilization is not only a journey of understanding the past, but also an opportunity for modern humans to reflect on sustainability, order, and the relationship between humans and nature. 2. The Nile River, the cradle of Egyptian civilization. If one had to point to a single factor that determined the birth and development of ancient Egyptian civilization, it would be the Nile River. This river, over 6,600 kilometers long, flows through the arid lands of North Africa, creating a rare strip of fertile land amidst the vast desert. For the ancient Egyptians, the Nile was not just a source of water, but a lifeblood, the foundation for all economic, social, and spiritual activities. Every year, around summer, the Nile River overflows due to heavy rains in the Ethiopian highlands. These floods bring nutrient-rich silt, enriching the fields along the riverbanks. When the water recedes, the land becomes fertile, ideal for cultivation. Thanks to the relatively regular flood cycle, the Egyptians were able to predict planting seasons, organize stable agricultural production, and create a surplus of food. This food supply sustained the population and supported the development of the artisan, official, and intellectual classes. The ancient Greek historian Herodotus once said, "Egypt is the gift of the Nile." This statement accurately reflects the vital role of the river in Egyptian civilization. Without the Nile, Egypt would be a barren desert, unsuitable for a settled society and long-term development. Thanks to the Nile, the Egyptians soon formed villages along the riverbanks, which then developed into large population centers and eventually a unified nation. Beyond agriculture, The Nile River plays a vital role in transportation and trade. In a context where land travel across the desert is extremely difficult, the Nile becomes a natural highway, connecting Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. Thanks to its northward flow and counterwinds, boats can travel easily in both directions. This contributes to enhanced economic, cultural, and political exchange between the regions. Geographically, Egypt is naturally protected by deserts to the east and west, the Mediterranean Sea to the north, and rapids to the south. This relative isolation helped Egypt avoid many invasions in its early stages, creating conditions for the stable development of its civilization. It can be said that the combination of the Nile River and its unique geographical environment created an ideal setting for the birth of one of the greatest civilizations in human history. 3. The formation of the ancient Egyptian state. Before becoming a unified nation, ancient Egypt existed as a collection of small communities scattered along the Nile River. Traditionally, the land was divided into two main regions, Upper Egypt in the south and Lower Egypt in the north, near the Nile Delta. Each region had its own distinct geography, culture, and symbolism, and frequently competed for power with the other. Around 3100 BC, the unification of Egypt took place, often associated with the legendary King Nama, also known as Men's. This event marked the birth of one of the earliest centralized states in human history. The unification was not only politically significant but also laid the foundation for a unified administrative, legal, and religious system across the entire territory. The ancient Egyptian state was organized according to a strongly centralized model, headed by the pharaoh. Below the pharaoh was the class of officials, headed by the vizier, responsible for land management, tax collection, labor coordination, and supervision of public works. The development of this administrative apparatus allowed Egypt to effectively manage its resources, especially agricultural land and labor. A crucial element contributing to the formation and maintenance of the Egyptian state was writing. The Egyptians invented hieroglyphic writing, initially used for religious and ceremonial purposes, and later expanded to administration and economics. Thanks to writing, decrees, laws, contracts, and tax records could be accurately stored and communicated. This enabled the state to function stably and continuously for generations. The early formation of the ancient Egyptian state demonstrates a high level of social organization and superior administrative capabilities compared to many contemporary civilizations. Not only based on military strength, the Egyptian state was also reinforced by religious beliefs and a deep sense of social order. This combination of political, administrative, and religious power created a solid foundation, enabling Egypt to maintain stability for millennia. 4. Pharaoh divine power on earth in ancient Egyptian society. The pharaoh was not merely a king, but also the earthly embodiment of the gods. The Egyptians believed that the pharaoh was the son of Ra, the sun god, and the bridge between the human world and the divine world. This belief granted the pharaoh absolute power and sacred legitimacy. At the heart of Egyptian political thought was the concept of Ma'at, representing order, justice, and cosmic balance. The pharaoh was responsible for maintaining Ma'at by governing justly, performing religious rituals properly, and protecting the country from chaos. If Ma'at was broken, natural disasters, epidemics, and social unrest would occur. Therefore, the pharaoh's power was inextricably linked to his moral and religious responsibilities. The pharaoh held multiple roles simultaneously: political leader, commander-in-chief of the army, and high priest. During peacetime, the pharaoh oversaw the construction of large-scale projects, managed the economy, and patronized the arts. During wartime, the pharaoh led the army to defend the territory and expand its influence. Religiously, the pharaoh performed important rituals to appease the gods and ensure the prosperity of the nation. Egyptian history records many prominent pharaohs. Hatshepsut, one of the few female pharaohs, stands out for her policies of peace and trade development. Akhenaten was controversial for his religious reforms, worshipping Aten as the sole god. Ramses II is considered one of the greatest pharaohs, famous for his military campaigns and monumental architectural works. Each pharaoh left their own mark, but all operated within the framework of Egypt's characteristic theocracy. The divine power of the pharaoh was a crucial factor in maintaining the long-term stability of Egyptian society, as people believed that social order reflected cosmic order. Obedience was not only a political obligation but also a religious duty. This created a unique model of governance in which power and belief were closely intertwined. Major historical periods of ancient Egypt. The history of ancient Egypt is generally divided into three major periods: the Old Kingdom, the Middle Kingdom, and the New Kingdom. Each period reflects significant changes in political, economic, and cultural organization, and leaves behind distinctive legacies. The Old Kingdom, c. 2686–2181 BC, is often referred to as the Pyramid Age. This was the period when the pharaoh's power reached its peak and the centralized state was strongly consolidated. Great structures such as the Giza Pyramid Complex and the Sphinx were built during this time. The pyramids were not only tombs, but also symbols of power, belief in life after death, and the state's ability to organize large-scale labor. After a period of decline, Egypt entered the Middle Kingdom, circa 2055–1650 BC. This was a period of cultural, artistic, and literary renaissance. The state focused on improving irrigation systems, expanding arable land, and strengthening the administrative apparatus. Philosophical and ethical literary works emerged, reflecting a growing concern for individual well-being and social justice. The New Kingdom, circa 1550–1070 BC, marked a period of imperialism and military expansion. Egypt expanded its territory into the Near East and Nubia, becoming a regional power. The Valley of the Kings was chosen as the burial place for the pharaohs, instead of the pyramids, to prevent tomb robbery. This period also saw notable religious reforms and the emergence of many famous pharaohs. These three major historical periods demonstrate the adaptability and restructuring capabilities of Egyptian civilization. Despite experiencing periods of prosperity and decline, Egypt has maintained its cultural core and beliefs, contributing to its rare longevity. 6. Religion and mythology. The soul of Egypt. Religion played a central role in the lives of ancient Egyptians, influencing everything from politics and art to daily life. Egypt was a polytheistic society, with hundreds of gods representing natural forces, cosmic phenomena, and aspects of human life. Among them, the most important gods included Ra, the sun god, Osiris, the god of the afterlife, Isis, the patron goddess, and Horus, the god of the sky. The Osiris myth is one of the core stories of Egyptian religion. According to the myth, Osiris was murdered by his brother Seth, then resurrected by Isis and became the god of the dead. This story reflects a deep belief in reincarnation and the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, which formed the basis of the Egyptian concept of the afterlife. Egyptian religion was closely intertwined with politics. The pharaoh was seen as the representative of the gods, while the temples served as both religious and economic centers. The temples possessed land, labor, and wealth, playing a crucial role in the national economy. Religious rituals were performed regularly to maintain harmony between humans and the gods. Egyptian art was also deeply religious. Statues, murals, and reliefs served not only decorative purposes but also spiritual ones. Images of gods, rituals, and journeys to the afterlife were depicted according to strict rules, reflecting concepts of order and eternity. It can be said that religion and mythology were the soul of Egyptian civilization. They not only helped people understand the world around them, but also created a shared system of values, binding society together and strengthening state power. 7. Belief in life after death. Belief in life after death was one of the most striking characteristics of ancient Egypt. The Egyptians believed that death was not the end, but merely a transition to another state of existence. For the soul to continue living, the physical body had to be preserved and rituals had to be fully performed. The Egyptians believed that a human being consisted of several parts: the physical body, the soul, Ba, the life force, Ka, and the identity, Ren. The mummification process was developed to preserve the physical body, creating conditions for the soul's return. Mummification was not only for the pharaoh, but gradually became widespread among all social classes, reflecting the importance of this belief. Pyramids and tombs were built as eternal homes for the dead. Inside the tombs, The Egyptians placed objects, food, and amulets to serve the souls in the afterlife. The Book of the Dead contained spells to guide souls through the trials and judgments of the god Osiris. Belief in life after death influenced not only architecture and art, but also shaped social ethics. The Egyptians believed that souls would be judged based on their actions during their lives. Thus they valued honesty, fairness, and respect for Ma'at. 8. Scientific, technical and cultural achievements of ancient Egypt. One of the reasons ancient Egypt is considered a great civilization of humankind lies in its scientific, technological, and cultural achievements that far surpassed those of its time. Although they did not develop science in the abstract, theoretical sense of ancient Greece, the Egyptians possessed a highly practical mindset, closely linking knowledge to the needs of social management, production, and religion. In the fields of mathematics and geometry, the Egyptians developed computational methods to aid in land surveying and construction. The annual flooding of the Nile River blurred land boundaries, forcing the state to conduct new surveys. From this, concepts of area, volume, and proportion were formed. This geometric knowledge was directly applied to the construction of pyramids, temples, and massive stone structures with astonishing precision. The Egyptians also made significant advances in medicine. Medical papyruses, such as the Ebers Papyrus and the Edwin Smith Papyrus, demonstrate a fairly good understanding of anatomy, diagnosis, and treatment. Egyptian medicine combined practical observation and religious elements. But many empirically based treatments still exhibit a certain scientific basis. Another significant achievement was writing. Hieroglyphic writing initially served religious purposes, later developing into simpler forms for administrative and everyday use. The invention of papyrus made record-keeping convenient, contributing to the preservation of knowledge, laws, literature, and history. As a result, Egypt became one of the earliest civilizations to have a sophisticated information storage system. In the fields of astronomy and timekeeping, the Egyptians constructed a 365-day calendar based on the cycle of the Nile River and the appearance of the star Sirius. This calendar not only served agriculture but also influenced how people organized their social lives, rituals, and religion. In terms of art and culture, ancient Egypt was distinguished by its symbolic style and strict rules. Art did not aim to freely reflect reality, but rather sought permanence and order. Architecture, sculpture, and painting all served religion and political power, expressing a desire to transcend the limitations of time. 9. The decline of ancient Egypt. Despite existing for over 3,000 years, ancient Egypt ultimately could not escape the law of decline. This process did not happen suddenly, but was the result of many internal and external factors accumulating over a long period. Internally, Egypt frequently faced political crises as central power weakened. Transitional periods between major dynasties often witnessed decentralization, local rebellions, and internal conflicts. When the pharaoh lost prestige or his divine authority was questioned, the social order based on Mahatma also faltered. Egypt's economy is heavily reliant on agriculture and the Nile River cycle. Climate fluctuations, erratic floods, or prolonged droughts can lead to crop failures, famine, and social unrest. At the same time, maintaining the state apparatus and major infrastructure projects requires enormous resources, putting significant pressure on the economy. Regarding external factors, from the first millennium BC onwards, Egypt faced increasing pressure from surrounding powers. The Assyrians, Persians, and then the Greeks and Romans successively invaded and controlled Egypt. Under Alexander the Great and the Ptolemaic dynasty, Egypt retained some traditional cultural elements, but political power essentially rested in the hands of foreigners. In 30 BC, following the death of Cleopatra VII, Egypt officially became a province of the Roman Empire. This event marked the end of ancient Egypt's independence. However, political decline did not mean the complete disappearance of Egyptian culture, as many of its values and knowledge continued to be disseminated and adopted by other civilizations. X. The heritage and influence of ancient Egypt on humanity. Although it no longer exists as an independent nation, ancient Egypt left behind a vast legacy and a profound influence on human history. Many elements of this civilization were adopted, modified, and developed in later civilizations, especially Greece and Rome. In architecture and art, Egypt strongly inspired the ancient world. Elements such as stone columns, reliefs, colossal statues, and temple layouts were adopted and modified in Greek and Roman architecture. Even in modern times, images of pyramids and Egyptian symbolism still appear in many buildings and works of art. In terms of science and knowledge, Egyptian mathematical, medical, and astronomical knowledge was learned and systematized by the Greeks. Alexandria, a major intellectual center of the ancient world, was a crossroads of Egyptian and Greek thought, contributing to the formation of later Western science. In religion and thought, Egyptian beliefs in life after death, the judgment of souls, and moral concepts linked to the cosmic order influenced many other belief systems. Egyptian gods were identified with Greek and Roman deities, demonstrating the strong spread of Egyptian culture. Today, ancient Egypt continues to fascinate the modern world with its unique blend of mysticism and practical wisdom. Studying Egypt not only helps us understand the past, but also raises profound questions about the sustainability of society, the relationship between humans and nature, and the aspiration for eternity. 11. Conclusion. Ancient Egypt. Great not just because of its past. Looking back at the entire process of the formation, development, and decline of ancient Egypt, it can be affirmed that the greatness of this civilization lies not only in its colossal stone structures or the mystical stories of pharaohs and pyramids. What makes ancient Egypt special is its ability to create a stable, orderly, and sustainable society for a period of time rarely seen in human history. First and foremost, ancient Egypt demonstrates the decisive role of the natural environment in the formation of civilization. The Nile River not only provided sustenance but also shaped the thinking, lifestyle, and social organization of the Egyptians. Instead of confronting nature, they learned to adapt, anticipate, and utilize its laws. This harmony laid the foundation for a stable agricultural economy and nurtured a society capable of long-term development. Furthermore, Egypt's greatness is also reflected in its model of state and political power. The early establishment of a centralized state, headed by the pharaoh with divine power, helped maintain social order for centuries. Although this model restricted individual freedom in the modern sense, it suited the historical context and the need for stability in Egyptian society. The concept of Ma'at order, justice, and balance was not merely a religious ideology, but a fundamental principle governing all aspects of life. Another crucial factor contributing to the enduring power of ancient Egypt was its shared beliefs and values. Religion, mythology, and belief in life after death created a spiritual goal that transcended immediate material life. The pyramids, tombs, and funeral rituals not only reflected the individual's aspiration for eternity, but also demonstrated a society that invested in the future in its own unique way. This belief enabled people to accept sacrifice, labor, and adhere to social order with a profound awareness of the meaning of life. Ancient Egypt also left behind lessons about knowledge and practice. Achievements in mathematics, medicine, astronomy, and writing did not stem from purely theoretical research, but from the need to manage, build, and organize society. This shows that science is not only a product of abstract intellect, but also the result of observation, accumulated experience, and adaptation to reality. However, Egyptian history also serves as a reminder that no civilization lasts forever. The decline of ancient Egypt reflects the limitations of a rigid, centralized model in the face of political, economic, and environmental changes. When the old order is no longer suitable, society is forced to change or accept replacement. This is a general rule of human history. From a modern perspective, ancient Egypt is not just a civilization of the past, but also a source of inspiration and lessons for the present. Studying Egypt helps us understand that greatness is not measured solely by power or wealth, but also by the ability to create order, meaning, and social cohesion over a long period of time. Therefore, the ultimate question is not only, how great was ancient Egypt, but also, what can we learn from a civilization that existed more than 5,000 years ago? The answer probably lies in the lesson of balance between humanity and nature, between power and responsibility, between material and spiritual values that remain relevant in the turbulent modern world. Ancient Egypt was more than just towering pyramids in the desert, more than just mummies or powerful pharaohs. It was a story of humanity's yearning for eternal life, of the belief that life does not end after death, and of intelligence that could transcend the limitations of its time. Though it vanished thousands of years ago, that civilization lives on, in architecture, mathematics, medicine, astronomy, and in the very way people today question life, death, and the meaning of existence. Perhaps what made ancient Egypt immortal was not the stones, but the mindset, beliefs, and aspirations to leave a lasting mark for generations to come. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the civilizations, mysteries, and timeless stories of human history with me. Thank you for watching, and see you on our next journeys.